Greetings, wholeness, integrity. You say, why integrity? It's not really a greeting. It actually means wholeness. Go look it up in etymology. Actually, it means wholeness. Trying to get a little different angle because this light keeps wanting to get it. And see right there. You can see it. I'll try to stay up on it. But anyways, thank you guys for the watch. How about that word of the day, which I was able to tie in back into your path and your initiation path. That word of the day, follow, right? That was our word of the day that we just did, and I tied it into the initiate path. And I was going to do this, start doing it. I've had many people over the years, even, and I never did it. Said you should do definitely a time and a place, a show, and break down songs, whether older songs. I'm open to newer songs too. So let's see how this goes. The songs I'm familiar with is a lot of classic rock and songs from the past that would have these connections, right, with certain the lyrics. I've always been a lyric person, so it doesn't surprise me. Even as a teen, I wasn't just all about the music part. I knew that I was really paid attention to lyrics, and the lyrics meant a lot to me, which doesn't surprise me now to what I see, what I became in my life through the path and the journeys, right, like that. But so lyrics were a lot even back then to me. So when I heard certain songs, I was like, I could see these lyrics are not like these over here that seem to always be much further meanings, deeper meanings. You get a song that will give you a chorus and its hook, and just will sing a few choruses and then hook you again and hook you again. And then I would see them who would make lyrics that were telling you stories, and I go, this is not the same as that. So I would see that. But I'm even open into newer. So once we get started doing this, people have ideas, send me certain songs, but know those songs, being sure those songs that you know that you're sending to me have something that's in them, and not just something that's, not really would have anything to do with this, not just that would be connected to this. But anyways, we're gonna get started here. So we're gonna start esoteric. We're looking for the esoteric meanings by decoding songs. So let me share a screen, and I have a few songs that I got on my list that I'm looking at to start this. And the one I wasn't going to do first by my last video on talking about that you guys just seen, it just goes too much with it. It just goes too much what we've been talking about with the initiate. So I'm going to have to do this first because it goes right along to me with the initiate. So here we go. All right. We're going to do this, right? All right. So our first song is we're going to do a legendary song from one of the most legendary groups of rock music from the 1971 release from this group called Led Zeppelin. It's a very popular song. It's like I said, this song is what, 20 over 53 years now. That's when they last. You realize this song, to many people, are just discovering it. It didn't go away. It's something that many people know of and have heard of, right? But we're going to break down the lyrics, because this isn't a few lyrics, hook and repeat the lyrics, go rinse and repeat and do it over. Go. This is telling a story. So right away, we're seeing that the story in this song is called Stairway to Heaven. So in what we're talking about, what we are, we definitely are talking about, with us as people, we've been talking about the initiate, the path, walking this path. We're actually walking into that type of stairway, going to a higher place, going, the stairway to heaven, right? We're walking the path to go to that higher place of understanding. We can go into all the esoteric meanings, what even the words mean. A stairway, I can see a stairway as even being your DNA is definitely a stairway motion. The spiral of life is a stairway. This makes sense, a spiral stairway. and of course to the higher self or to heaven and to a higher place of being. So let's look in the lyrics. We're going to go, all right? It says, there's a lady who's sure of all that glitters. There's a lady who's sure all that glitters is gold, and she's buying a stairway to heaven. I find this very powerful. It's a lady who's sure all that glitters is gold. What I like about that already is seeing this a little bit from a difference. It wasn't a that thinks that this lady, this woman, this feminine energy thinks that all things glitters are gold. She says she automatically enters into lady who's sure all that glitters is gold. Surety would be like knowing, right? So this lady or this feminine aspect is right away in the initiation of knowledge, right away, first half a sentence, first few words in this first sentence of the song is a woman that is feminine aspect we're looking at is also connected to being a knower, not a believer, unsurety, thinks, believes. She's sure everything that has a glitter, which is a type of shining light, a shimmer, right, is gold. And we know gold represents the highest quality of definitely a high abundance of meaning. And she's buying a stairway to heaven. She's purchasing it. She's buying, right? Meaning she's going through the process. She's going through the giving or the giving and taking of changes to purchase that which she is. Like we were talking about, going the initiate path. Are you going through your degrees? Are you buying it? Are you falling behind? Are you open to it? Right? She's buying a stairway to heaven, and when she gets there, she knows if the stars are all closed, with a word she can get what she came for. So right away we were taking it. We're going to look at stores. I'm going to look at stores not so much as looking at this as buying things. Right? She's buying a stairway. So the stores represents to me all the different things you can get in this path, all the different gifts, all the abundance that you can get from, and even spiritual knowledge, right? Spiritual experiences, all who you are. You're starting to buy yourself. You're starting to buy the stairway, and the stores all are closed with a word, meaning with a creative word, with a creative force, she can get what she came for. And then it goes into this chorus in the singing, oh, oh, she's buying a stairway to heaven. And then it goes into, there's a sign on the wall, but she wants to be sure, because you know sometimes words have two meanings. That's why we're sitting up here. She goes, there's a sign on the wall, but she wants to be sure. Remember earlier, she was very sure that all that glitters is gold. Now she wants the surety or the knowing to kick in, not a belief system, not just believe willy-nilly and not know anything. Not knowing is connected to knowledge. It's the same foundation of a word. Knowing and knowledge are the same thing, right? Knowing. Gnostics are knowers. They're not believers. The believing part of this came through Rome. Be a believer. I think the monkey sang that best, right? I'm a believer. Think about it. So this woman, I really like this. I'm seeing this, even things I didn't notice before. She's getting there. She knows that but there's a sign or a reading on the wall. There's a message on the wall. But she wants to be sure because you know. She says, because you know, not believe. Sometimes words have two meanings on them. And this is why we do etymology, because that is the English language. The English language gives you equivocal languages, give you more than one meaning in words. The new dictionaries, like I've said before, aren't going to tell you that. The new dictionaries aren't going to say this. Old dictionaries used to say this. You know what they used to say? Get ready for it. They used to say equivocal languages were made to keep the people with power and money and prestige and power and keep everybody else under their feet. Power over them through the language. So this woman is seeing there's a sign, but she knows words have two meanings. So she's looking for surety what the true meaning is of the word. The feminine aspect, which can be very spiritual aspect. That's what she's looking for. She's looking for surety, right? She's not, she says, because there's two words have two meanings. Then it goes into a little farther down. Let me go up a little bit. No. Sorry, you guys. Two meanings. It says, in a tree by the brook, there's a songbird who sings. Sometimes all of her thoughts are misgiven. She goes, in a tree by the brook. Remember what a brook is, a tree, right? There's a songbird who sings. Sometimes all her thoughts are misgiving. Thoughts. Sometimes our thoughts are not giving you positivity, not giving you really maybe what you think. Thoughts can be negative. They can be a mishap or misgiven. They can be not really the truth. They can be your thoughts. You like, how many times have we thought, hey, look at this over here, and you look at somebody and you think they're thinking negative thoughts about you, and they're not even on your mind. They have you on, you're not even on their mind. But our thoughts will make us think somebody's thinking about us or talking about us, or the way they looked at us and the way this. And then when you get down to the nitty gritty, your thoughts were misgiven. It's not what it meant. That's not what was happening. This person was not thinking about you. They were thinking about how they were going to do something or plan something or pay a bill, right? So she's even clearing this up, is that there's a songbird by the brook, by the tree. Notice this tree's heavy. Tree's heavy in spirituality. You got the tree of life. You got all these different trees. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil. You got the trees right by the brook. Brook is a water, right? That's where a river, a brook runs by the water. And there's a songbird. There's a bird singing. And what's the bird singing? Sometimes all our thoughts are misgiven. And then it follows up with the next thing. It says, it goes into this, oh, it makes me wonder. Oh, it makes me wonder. And then again, it goes into the wondering. What happens when you wonder? You're starting to have questions, but also you don't know yet. Like, you're kind of wondering, what's the more to play here? What's really going on here? What's happening here? What's going on here? Why? I'm wondering. How many times we get into a wonder and within our mind and our spirit, right? It starts wondering, or you start contemplating within yourself, wondering. She got by the tree. She's got a songbird who sang. She realized thoughts can give you wrong applications. You got to monitor your thoughts. She looked at the wall before that and realized sometimes two words have two meanings. We need to get to the real here, and we need to get through this process of knowing something. And we know that our thoughts can mislead us if we don't have the thoughts in the right order, or we take something that we really are not sure of, or if we're led by our thoughts. How many times we talk about being led by your emotions or wrong thinking, right? So she talks about, oh, it makes me wonder in the lyrics. Oh, it makes me wonder, right? So he's in a wonder, which can lead to amazement, because you're really maybe wondering, contemplating something deeper. What's really turning you on? Are you wondering because you know there's more to this? Wondering also means, in the words to have two meaning, you can wander off somewhere, right? You can go somewhere else. And you can mostly do that in your head, right? You can go somewhere and wander off in the mall, or wander off physically, but a lot of times the most wandering we do is within our own thoughts, right? Now, there's a feeling I get when I look to the west, and my spirit is crying for leaving. Very deep. There's a feeling I get when I look to the west, and my spirit is crying for leaving. The west is the end, right? Because the sun rises in the east, sets in the west. It's the other side of the beginning. It's the Alpha and Omega. And then and my spirit is crying for leaving. My spirit is wanting more. My spirit's wanting out of the containment. My spirit's wanting, I want to know. I want to keep grow. I want the more, right? I'm trying to buy this place that I need to arrive to. Where am I going to? I need to get to that place, right? And then it goes after my spirit's crying for leaving. In my thoughts, I've seen rings of smokes through the trees and the voices of those who stand looking. So in this, he goes, in my thoughts, I have seen. So he's in the wonder, right? He's in that wondering. She's in the wondering, because this is the lyrics, right? And she's starting to recognize that she's seen in their own thoughts. I've seen rings of smoke through the trees, kind of like the haze, right? Kind of like even the mist, like a mystery, the mist through the trees. The trees are connected to life, right? And smoke through the trees, and the voices of those who stand looking. And the voices through the trees, and the voices of those who stand looking. The sound, the frequency, the voice coming from those who are looking on, all wondering, in this place, wondering what there is to know. And then it comes up with this, oh, it makes me wonder. Oh, it really makes me wonder, right? There's that wondering again. Let me adjust this because we're going to go down a little bit. And it's whisper, and so it makes me, we're going, oh, it makes me wonder. Oh, it really makes me wonder. And it's whispered that soon, if we all call the tune, when the piper shall lead us to reason, right? And it is whispered that soon, if we all call the tune. I see calling the tune as calling like a vibration and frequency, a sound, because everybody here is wondering with her, right? She's seen the voices of those who stand looking, obviously watching the wondering and watching what the process of what this woman is going through in this place. Not just that. And she's actually making a statement, or Robert Plant is singing this, is in this lyrics, is if we all call the tune, which is a frequency and a vibration and a unity, right? You're hearing a certain voice, you're hearing a frequency, you're hearing a vibration, the tune. You're getting tuned up within. When that tune comes in the piper, notice what's the piper's the one playing the tune. Will lead us to reason. What's the reason? Right, what's the reason? Here's the reason. And a new day will dawn for those who stand long, and the forest will echo with laughter. A new day will dawn for those who stand long. And I really look at that and say, that's very, very deep. This whole process of these words, when I broke them down, I noticed I've heard the song for so long, and I've even heard the song since I've been awake and went through this process of that. And I'll be honest, a lot of times when I do, this is, hear Led Zeppelin or even listen to them now, I usually don't go listen to this song. I admit it's many people the most popular. It's the most popular for the ones who just know about them and recognize who they are. Those who maybe are have listened to know Led Zeppelin, know that their whole catalog is really good. But when I see this, there's things here I did not see before. And when I see a new day will dawn, right, for those who stand long. This is a process of the forest, and the forest will echo with laughter. Within you, these forests and these trees were many thoughts. This is all within you. Remember, take this outside from the esoteric and take all this volume of these, every aspect that we've seen and the experience that's talked about here that we just broke down as being now an esoteric meaning. The wondering in having these having rings of smoke going through the trees in my thoughts. These were all in her thoughts. This is all within, right? And when it comes to, what does it say? The long, or go back down. Where does it say the long? And a new day will dawn for those who stand long. those who stand long, meaning you got to walk your path. You got to stand. You got to understand. You got to understand. You can't sit. Stand. Standing up straight. Stand. For those who stand long. This is a process to get to the stairway to heaven, right? We've seen it in the old biological. If you look at the old maps of the world, this process of different levels, right? That goes up. There you got Asgard, you got the lower realms, right? And you know these ancient maps by the ancient folks would do this. So what I see here is, and the forest will echo with laughter. It's going to bring you in the forest, right? In the forest, there's a lot of energy frequency with trees and energetic fields. They're going to echo. The echo, and we talked about, is kind of connected to the echo or the ripple effect. You drop a pebble in the water and it goes out like this, right? That's the echo effect, the echo. Kind of like echo. If you look at your inner ear, you're going to go, oh, it's kind of shaped like the ripple effect. You're starting to hear from a different place, and now you're hearing joy and you're echoing with laughter, meaning there's a growth and you're getting to the place that you're looking to get to, which would be your goal, or is you climbing that stairway to heaven, right? Remember, this is all within. She's telling you about this is all happening in her thoughts. She said, in the lyrics, it says that this woman who's buying it said this is all. She even said the stores are within. Well, you go to next levels, you have stores that this physical don't deal with because it's storage houses, storage of self, right? Stand long. Whoa. If there's a bustle in your hedgerow, and I believe the hedgerow represents your thinking, maybe your brain. That's a good one. I need to look up that word. Don't be alarmed now. It's just a spring clean for the May Queen. I'm going to stop there because the next part's going to kind of go with what we've been talking about. Is there a bustle in your hedgerow? Don't be alarmed now. It's just a spring clean for the May Queen. Don't be alarmed with this. There has to be a cleansing of yourself within to your other side of yourself, your shadow self. You have to start doing the inner work. That's why it's a long wait, like it said earlier above, talking about, where was that at, about being long? Or let me go back to that. I just want to reiterate that. Where's the long laughter? Oh, a new day will dawn for those who stand long, and then standing long. This is a process, and you got to learn to stand in this process. What's standing? Not your physical, your spirituality to the next level of who you really are, and into the function of what you're becoming, into the initiation. I see this even in initiation mode now. She's being initiated. Wow, this really goes with it. Because this wasn't going to be my first song. I was going to do some other songs. I was going to eventually do this, but it was so much leading from what I was talking about in the last video to what this is, right? Don't be alarmed now. Don't let this shake you up. It's just a spring clean for the May Queen. Yes, there are two paths you can go by, but in the long run, there's still time to change your road you're on. And that's what we talked on the last one. Quit being a follower, right? When we talked about being a follower. Quit following the path everybody goes. They're lost. You're following the lost. That's why you're being initiated down a path they know not of. One more time. This two roads gives you an opportunity, saying you've gone down a path, but there's time to change the road you're on and go down the path that you need to go down to. This path ain't, if it ain't happening for you, it ain't what I'm experiencing here in this words. Change this path. Because you know what? There's two paths you can go by. You can go by the left or the right-hand path. That actually is an occultic and very much an occultic thing, the right and left-hand path, right? I talked about it in with some other people. I mentioned the right and left-hand path would go into even learning to take any substances to help you have these experiences, right? Like mushrooms, psilocybin, mushrooms, ayahuasca. But there's a path, another path, and that's learning how to be a great deep breather. If you learn how to deep breathe and make that a skill of a mastery, you really don't have to take the other substances. But both, nothing's wrong with the other substance, but one's a right-hand path and one's a left-hand path. Like I told you, one's a back door and one's a front door. there are two paths you can go by, but in the long run, there's still time to change the road you're on. And it makes me wonder again, right? That's mentioned again. It makes me wonder. Makes me wonder. My head is humming and it won't go. In case you don't know, the piper's calling you to join him. So your head is humming. What is that humming with? Frequency, vibration. I know that many would go into this represents very, very darkness, and this especially when some of the past that was taught with this music. I see this as more occultic, and when you understand the left and right path of occultic, you would kind of understand this more. Doesn't necessarily mean certain things, right? Like I'll say this. The world's going to tell you Lucifer's the devil, right? That's bad. That's the devil. That's shit. But the reality is kind of like the symbols. Lucifer never met that before. Lucifer actually they actually had a show called Lucifer on TV many years ago. They had a series, and it was a guy. But really, when you get in the cult meanings of Lucifer, before it was a female, and it means, and Lucifer actually means Venus. That's what it means. Now, what came about it with a bunch of people that are changing things, doing things different, hijacking things. That's the hijackers. And then you're believing everything they say. They may apply to that, but that's not the original meaning. Just like the symbol, the swastika, wasn't a thing. The first time it was used wasn't in 1940s or 1930s. So your head's humming and it won't go. In case you don't know, the piper's calling you to join him. Remember, she talked about earlier, when we all play the tune, we're gonna come to the fact to understand that we start hearing the tune, it will come to us, right? The tune's gonna make us realize something when we come to a unity or oneness. It was mentioned earlier. It says and it whispered soon that if we all call the tune, the piper lead us to reason. What's a reason? Purpose, right? You're leading to reason. So after the head's coming, the piper's calling you to join him, and it says, "Dear lady, can you hear the wind blow? And did you know your stairway lies on the whispering wind," which would be the spirit. Do you know your stairway, right? What I just said, what is it? That your stairway lies on the whispering wind. The identification, "Dear lady, can you hear the wind?" Meaning, can you hear? Can you hear the wind? Are you able to grasp that the wind's got a voice? Remember earlier she talked about seeing smoke, mist within the trees, right? And hearing the voices of those who stand looking. Hearing is being pushed here. He's asking a question, "Dear lady, do you hear the wind blow? And did you know?" Back to do you know, not do you believe. Back to the cultic meaning of being a knower, being a Gnostic. Did you know that your stairway lies on the whispering wind or the spirit? That wind that you're wanting to hear, and we're asking you, do you hear? This is where your stairway is going to open up to your path to hear it, right? And then it says, and it was, we'll wind down the road, our shadows taller than our soul. As you start going through this process, you'll understand that the shadow work needs to be done, because the shadow will always appear bigger than you. And we know in the literal sense, in certain times of the day, you stand and you get a reflection of the shadow, you might look 20 times bigger in the shadow than your physical body does, right? There walks a lady we all know who shines white light and wants to show how everything still turns to gold. And if you listen, see, notice all these aspects. There's a lady, the feminine aspect, even though that darkness came, and it appears our shadows are taller than our soul. As we wind on down what? The road? Remember you said there's time to change the road you're on, right? And as we walk on down the road, the shadows are taller than our soul. There's a lady we all know who shines white light and wants to show. So there's a white light there. There's that light is present. It's going to show, right? And wants to show you. You're going to be illuminated by the white light. It's going to show you how everything still turns to gold, right? She said in the beginning of the song, the lyrics were that she knew that all that glitters is gold. Then it says, right, everything turns to gold. And if you listen very hard, meaning get those ears going, start hearing your leading of your spirit, start hearing the light. Because remember, hearing and noise is connected to light too, just as well as sight. And you start hearing that inner voice within you, right? You start hearing that inner voice within you. The tune will come to you at last. Meaning you're eventually going to get the tune. It's going to come to you at last. At last you're going to know the frequency, the vibration. You're going to know yourself. And notice when this happens, when all are one and one is all, to be a rock and not to roll. And then it finishes that she's buying a stairway to heaven. Powerful. I see this way different than I even seen it before I seen this. Knew that it has had a lot of occult, spiritual, deep meaning. This ain't a song that repeats itself. This is not some poppy, rinse and repeat lyrics, 3-minute song. This is an in-depth story, really very in-depth story of going to the next level of self. That's how I see it. It's very occultic. Everything turns to gold if you listen very hard, meaning you're starting to hear really well. If you listen hard, the tune will come to you at last. And what happens when all are one? Uno. And one is all. And this makes sense right here because there's a thing coming out, it's been out, well, Hollywood, a story of somebody saying 1 times 1 is 2. This right here tells me it's not, because how can the all times itself be another all? It's not. It doesn't happen that way. And this even says it, when we were all one and one is all, to be a rock and not to roll. It means being founded, and she's buying a stairway to heaven through the process of her travels through this road. Wow, I'm gonna have to even look at this again when this is put out, because I know the song very well, and as I'm reading it, I'm getting more. I was getting more. I've seen things a little different than I've seen even in the past, to a deeper depth of how this really was an occultic. This is an initiation that goes right along with what we've been talking about the last few videos. 1, 2, this would be the 4th one about the initiate. The process was to make changes and start hearing, seeing, and going through the process. Because this process she's talking about is not outside of you. It's not external. She was saying she's seen it in her thoughts within, right? Rings of smokes through the trees. She was taking you. I'm going on this journey within of buying the stairway to heaven, and I'm seeing, and all this aspects came through the process of seeing this. Very deep. More than I really realized when I look at this. Definitely, this is going to be one for me to watch again, because I've seen it was very, 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 very good. Finally, I'm doing this. People have been asking me for years to do this because I have a ton of more songs to break down. From mostly for me, it's going to be the classic rock genre. Anybody who watches this and likes this that has some other songs, that even from other genres, I don't mind breaking that down. I'm not playing the music, okay? I'm not going to do the reveal. I'm not reviewing. And even when there's times I have thought about being a reviewer, right? I did. I thought about doing reviewing music, but I wouldn't review the music I know. I would review something I don't know. But I think breaking this down. So what I've seen here in the breakdown, very esoteric. Really, no exoteric involved in here. You've seen the transition from esoteric and from exoteric to esoteric in the lyrics at the beginning, when she starts acknowledging where the thoughts are coming from and being misgiven, and they were in, and then you start seeing rings of smokes in her thoughts. So this is telling you right away, this is within. This is the stairway to heaven is within process, right? A within process. And you go, I'm telling you, the truth is not always hidden. That's the difference between knowing the esoteric and because the exoteric people, it's always about the book, right? But that especially going west and going Christianity, and this is really all of them. The book is a book of good and evil. One more time, the Bible. Notice it's even called Bible. Bull has a little Taurus in it. Bible, duality. Bi, it means two. Good and evil, connected to the bull, Taurus. But anyways, yeah, I just seen things in there I had never seen, and I have read the songs, knew the lyrics, know the song very well. Like I said, when I even listen to them now, and I usually don't just listen to them to listen to them anymore. I usually watch reviews of younger people listening to this type of music, and I find great joy. They're like, this stuff's tight. This stuff's nothing like this is made nowadays, and like it's not. And to seeing them great joy, just like I just mentioned to my son earlier, I was at a CVS the other day picking up some items, and ran into a younger woman, probably, like I said, between 25 to 30. I'm guessing. Sometimes I look at younger people like that. I don't know if you're 21 or 31, kind of. But she had one of their shirts on, and I was like, I went to that tour in that same year, and it opened up a conversation, and she kind of said the same thing. It was unbelievable music. You're very lucky to be able to live that and go see stuff like that, because it's good. It's good. But anyways, besides this, the esoteric and exoteric in this, very esoteric song, very. So once you guys start seeing anybody else wants to play another type of, has some songs for me, please send them in the comments. I will break them down if I don't know them. I do have a list of other songs I'll be doing, right? And I'm just adding this to this catalog. I'm going to be calling it the exoteric decodes of songs. I guess maybe that's what I'll call it. If I come up with a better one than that, that's how I'll release it. But anyways, you guys have a great day. This is D-Boy from D-Boy West Coast Uncensored, and we definitely uncensored the hidden on this video. Wow.